In a global study of multiple countries, including the United States, prostitution research and education found that 89% of women would leave prostitution if they had any reasonable alternative. Only 1 in 100 victims of human trafficking are rescued.
From an early age, my dad decided that he didn't want to see me anymore. That left me feeling abandoned and without a father. I saw him getting high with my older brothers, and that looked attractive to me. It looked to me like maybe if I get high too, my dad will want to spend time with me. And so that subconsciously fed into my life, and eventually I was doing drugs as well. By age 16, I was a full-blown heroin addict, and I ran away from home. I was in the life of prostitution for about 2 to 3 years. I truly felt like I was living in an underworld, a world completely separate from the lives of most quote-unquote normal people. Going to a movie, going to get coffee, none of those things existed. The only things that existed were the 4 walls of the hotel room that I was kept in. There was a time when I was left alone with a phone in a hotel room, which is very rare. Most of the time, your abuser doesn't leave you alone or with a phone at all. And I wanted out, and I thought that this might be my chance. So I took that phone and I typed into Google how to get out of prostitution. And I found nothing. I found no program, no church offering help. All I saw were blog posts. And in that moment, that told me that no one wanted to help me.
There is an undeniable need for help for victims of human trafficking. And in 2011, a team of us saw that need and wanted to mobilize the people of God to provide a 24-hour response to victims of sex trafficking just in Atlanta initially. And we formed Out of Darkness to be that 24-hour rescue hotline. When we got our first call, we knew our partners at Atlanta Dream Center had plans to open an emergency safe home, and we called them. They had just opened their home that morning, so our very first rescue went to the Atlanta Dream Center safe home. Over the next 12 months, we had 45 of those rescues, and we said, hey, why do this separately? We'll be better together. So we merged, and in 2013, Out of Darkness became an initiative of Atlanta Dream Center.
Since our founding in 2011, we've added strip club outreach. We've seen a jail team grow. We've also added to our rescue team. In 2014, we launched our first chapter of Out of Darkness in Middle Georgia. And then in 2015, launched a chapter in Columbus, Ohio.
What we realized quickly was that the name Atlanta Dream Center, while it had such beauty and history, limited us to Atlanta just by virtue of the name. And so by adopting a name that incorporates our mission to be on the front lines, we become Frontline Response. And our name tells our story, our name tells our mission, and our name can go to any community that needs a frontline response to the darkness of sex trafficking.
The most wonderful thing about Frontline is that they actually go and meet the people where they are. Having someone that can be on the front line to assess and then make sure that they're in the proper place for their restoration journey is an absolute win for everybody.
After a few years of falling into this lifestyle, I finally got to the end of my rope, and I really wanted change. I called a friend who reminded me of a hotline associated with the Out of Darkness safe home. I was able to call them, and they were there to pick me up within an hour or two.
When a woman comes to the safe home, a welcome basket's waiting for her. The staff is waiting for her, ready to welcome her into the house. On average, women are with us about 2 to 3 weeks. They have a schedule every day and case management working with them every day as well to do some initial trauma assessments and then help them safely get placed into the next step, which usually is a 12 to 15 month program.
The Out of Darkness program was able to help me find a long-term program that could assist with the addiction that I faced and the trauma that I faced from being in the sex industry. I went into that program for a year. I graduated that program, and then attended a ministry school. When I look back on the memories before coming to the safe home, there's just a physical darkness associated with them because everything in that lifestyle is done in the dark and in the shadows. But now, since I've created new memories, I look back and they're filled with light and hope. It was 3 years after I had been rescued that I was able to come on staff with FrontLine and help others get rescued. I love my job and I love what I'm able to do. It's amazing to me to look at the women that come through and see bits and pieces of my own story in them and just see how if God redeemed me, then He can redeem them. A lot of times in that lifestyle, they're unable to get the things required by a long-term program, like blood work or identification. We're able to fill in that gap and be that bridge. We can help them get all the necessary requirements to enter a long-term program and eventually change their life.
Organizations like mine that really focus on social transformation and really walking with people to a place of restoration, we look forward to partnering with organizations like FrontLine Response because it lets us focus on our place on the pathway while they focus on their place on the pathway.
We would love to invite you to partner with us. I mean, we've seen it be impossible without that partnership. We can't do it alone. Neither can the individuals in these communities that are ready to spark something in their area.
We're asking you, as we turn the page to another chapter, will you join us in making sure that men and women across this country are given an opportunity for freedom?
It's amazing to think of all the girls out there right now who might be typing in a Google search on their phone and they can't find help where they are, but knowing that we're coming, that we're bringing hope, and we'll be able to help them soon.